How's it going, garden people? Welcome to the Hidden Gardens. The temperatures are slowly warming up in my Zone 7 area, and it was time to get out and see which plants have made it out in the gardens and move out the plants that have been overwintering in the greenhouse cold frame out into the yard and slowly make room for new seedlings. Time to grab old-fashioned pen and paper and take inventory of what's in here and what their specs are, how big they get, and their zones and such, so that we can know we're about to distribute them out into the hidden gardens for their potential forever planting homes. This time of year, it's all about temperature watching and weather reports, checking things out, making sure that what gets put outside will be able to handle a light frost, keeping in the greenhouse what won't be, or if new growth has already occurred, to keep it protected for now. There are two varieties of rosemary here, both of which were planted out in the dog area and both of which succumbed to the winter. But in here, they seem to be doing okay, or at least this variety is doing better than the other one. As you can see, it's heated up a bit much in the greenhouse, so things are a little ahead in here. So these things I'll still keep a little protected. This time of year, it's musical plants, so the more cold hardy things like lettuce and the onions are going to go out to the greenhouse to start to harden off out there, while more things are going to continue to grow along in here. Peppers are starting to sprout. It's also time to start the last of the big round of seed starting for this season. Seed starting for me is definitely a fun garden path that I have enjoyed following. It can get a little overwhelming or out of control if things aren't done, like thinning and care of reading how big things might get. But other than that, it's really exciting to watch all these little teeny baby plants grow. The hardening off process for little baby plants is definitely a tricky one to kind of get the hang of. I've found that having this greenhouse does really help to aid in this process, but it's also very much weather dependent. Gardening is about putting your critical thinking cap on. What am I growing? What temperatures can it handle? What temperatures does it like? Is it cool season or warm season? I'm about 5 weeks out from my last frost date, so I'm going to go ahead and start my 6 week and my 4 week. So I'm a little late and a little early, but I'm just going to do them all together because that's what's easier for me. So the biggest things that I wanted to take care of while it's still early is to get out into the garden and look and see, like, these glow sticks I'm probably going to have to either replace or put something else in there. But the tulips are coming up. I want to divide this grass while it's still cold out and before it starts popping up, and as well as fix this little hellebore area. I planted a bunch of these Dragon Prince Cryptomeria this past fall. When I did so, all the foliage from these hellebores was all just in the way, and I couldn't see exactly where crowns of plants were, but I knew that I wanted that Cryptomeria exactly where it is because it mirrors the other side. So now it's time to move a few hellebore plants, since I, as you can see, planted it smack dab right in the middle of two plants. As you can see, the ground is very workable, and I got 2 really big clumps around the root balls of those hellebores just to make sure that I wasn't disturbing their roots too much. I know that they don't like that. Though I definitely had to get them moved because for me, I have limited time and only so much opportunity to get out here. So if I can get this taken care of, then we're gonna cross our fingers that the plants bounce back and flowers aren't too upset about it. I was able to reposition the cryptomeria since it was crammed in there. It just needed to be planted just a little bit deeper. And with those 2 plants out of the way, I'm also seeing that this one needs to be scooched over a bit too. Next up on the get it done sooner than later list is this chameleon little blue stem grass. I had been looking for a little while now to see if I could find another one of these plants, and I just can't find it. So it's still a little bit of a small plant, but I'm dividing it because I want it to mirror on the other side. So cross your fingers that both of these little plants make it. I really hope they do too, because is the reason why I'm dividing it as well, because it's so pretty. It has like this bluish foliage for the grass blades, and then come the fall, it starts to take on this like red tone, which is why they call it chameleon, because the color changes that happen with this grass, and it's super small too. So you can just tuck it pretty much anywhere. So I'm hoping that not only do these plants take, but eventually I'll be able to spread it throughout the gardens. All right, and I was able to get the other 2 hellebore plants planted in this same little area. The hellebore plants do seem to do good. This year I was a little late in cutting back their foliage, so I think they're looking a little rough, but otherwise such pretty plants. Really, really worth the plantings, and I'm adding more. Moving out back to the back gardens again to continue the inventory. A bunch of Japanese maples. Now these I've had in pots, but I think I'm going to plant them this year. Pussy willow right there, as well as some other crepe myrtles and small trees. More trees to be planted, so a whole bunch of more planting to do this year. Hopefully I can dwindle down the inventory that I have and get things into the ground. First attempt at some snap peas this year, so we'll see how that goes. And after a few days, these plants seem to be doing just fine, these little seedlings. And here's what's left in the greenhouse after I've emptied some of it out. And what I'm keeping, pretty much because it's kind of already leafed out, there is a possibility of a frost at least once, maybe, we'll see. So I kind of don't want to have to run out here and just cover everything. So what's been moved out I'm not worried about a light frost. What's still in the greenhouse will slowly start to come out as I move seedlings in. So lots still to get done on the gardening to-do list, but that also means lots of fun is still in store. So if you've made it this far and you're new, I hope that you'll consider subscribing. It's free and it does help out the channel. And I hope that this video inspires you on your gardening journey, whatever that looks like for you. And thank you for coming along on mine.